Hello, and welcome to another episode of Roommates Review. I'm your roommate, Liam.
And I'm your roommate, Evan.
This show, we discuss old Marvel movies that have been reviewed countless times, and we offer no new insights. But we make some goofs, and we spoil literally everything.
Yes.
Not just Marvel movies.
Not just, just anything. Because today,
we
are
discussing
a
large
stallion
who
is
going
to
conquer
my
son.
Genghis
McLeod.
Oh.
No.
Seriously though, I think the podcast should just be an hour straight of that. It gets me every time.
Alright, today we're talking about X-Men Days of Future Past, the second of the second wave of X-Men movies.
It's the second and the fourth movie.
Yeah, that's true.
In the sequential
It's the second of
order.
the second wave of X-Men movies and the fourth of the first wave.
Yeah. Seriously though, I was thinking about during the movie, I don't know who had the idea of bringing back the old cast and doing the new cast together.
Yeah.
And in a perfect way to kind of retcon some of the mistakes they didn't like in the storytelling of the third X-Men, and to I don't know. It was a genius idea. Whoever came up with it, I don't even know who directed it.
It's just Bryan Singer's way of fixing 3.
Oh, was it Singer?
I think it was Singer. Singer did most of the X-Men.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, just
whatever.
I like 3 mostly.
I like the original trilogy a lot.
Yeah, the story's not great, but it's just an incredible idea to do this. We get to see both of the Magnetos, both of the Professor X's, and they both did a great job in showing how
they've
different
grown.
they are. Yeah, how they've grown.
How they've changed.
Yeah, it's so cool.
We get to see Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, Michael Fassbender, Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, it's just...
I forgot Ellen Page was in this.
Yeah, me too. It's not just them doing all that, but then they have Hugh Jackman as the lead man again. Yeah. Which is what they needed
Which is
in the movie.
What makes this one, I think, the best of the most recent X-Men movies.
Definitely, because Hugh Jackman does such a good job as Wolverine.
Yep.
He's going to carry the movie, and why shouldn't he? That is the most popular X-Men.
Yep, he's the leading man in... Wolverine is the leading X-Men in popularity, and Hugh Jackman has led the X-Men movies since the first one. Yeah. And the ones where he's not just aren't as good. Even the ones that he's not the lead man, you wait until his cameo and you say yes.
Yeah,
that's what I was expecting. That's what I was waiting for.
Right, yeah. It's just a brilliant idea for a movie, and they executed it super well.
Mm-hmm. Right off the bat, my initial thought going into it was, some of these X-Men are really cool. I would like to see Bishop explored a little more. I would like to see Blink explored a little more. I don't know Warpath at all.
Yeah, I don't know him. He's apparently very good at seeing.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know him, though.
But Bishop and Blink especially, really cool. The way Blink uses her portals and throws everyone around. It's a lot like what we just talked about in Avengers Infinity War, where Doctor Strange is throwing all the people around in the fight against Thanos.
Yeah, I was thinking of that too, yeah. With all the momentum and things.
Mm-hmm.
You say you want to see them more explored. Personally, I don't want them. I thought they were in a, perfect amount there, where you could understand their powers enough quickly, and you didn't have to spend much time, setting them up or going into their backstories, whatever they are. They're just cool, awesome powers that are there, while they focus on the characters who have a lot of really good depth and storytelling too.
That's fair. Let me rephrase. I don't need to see their backstories or anything.
Right.
I want to see them more.
Mm-hmm.
So if they were to show up in a next X-Men movie where
Definitely.
where Bishop's running around shooting stuff with lasers some more, I'd be cool with that.
Right, yeah. I get that too. That's what I was thinking too. I really like that. It's kind of like what they did with Azazel in Days of Future Past, where they don't explore him at all and they just show you that he's really cool.
Yeah. Speaking of Azazel, I guess I just wasn't paying enough attention in the past, but I didn't notice that they just kill him off screen.
Yeah, they kill all the other.
Yeah.
Which is something I was thinking about. They only grabbed, really, I'm trying to think.
Havoc.
I'm trying to think. There are 4. You could count Quicksilver in there.
Mm-hmm.
He's not from the first movie, so
No.
but they only grabbed 4 mutants from the past in this movie. I guess Havoc's in there just for a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's Mystique, Magneto, Professor X, and Beast.
Yep.
And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, wow, there's a really strong representation just from those 4.
Right.
And then they blend in so well with the already established characters that are in the future. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, that's actually
well,
really,
you have
really
so
cool.
many characters, past and future characters, that if you start throwing in all those secondary characters, it's going to get a little convoluted and just too much to focus and look at.
Yeah, so I really like the idea of they're just like, we'll just kill off these characters. Whatever. Mm-hmm. We don't even need them in the story. Don't need to explain them any further.
Yeah.
And especially since this is resetting the timeline so they don't have to be dead forever. They can explore those characters later. Because
they're
Emma
pretty
Stone
dead, though.
Doesn't Emma Stone, does she not come back at some point? I don't know.
They didn't show her dead, though. Or did he say?
He says that Emma, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't know.
I missed that.
I don't know. Maybe they are going to be dead.
I don't know.
Dead. Who knows?
Yeah, it seemed pretty clear that Azazel was dead.
Yeah. Okay. So it's potential. Who knows though? It is comic book movies.
Mm-hmm. He did say Angel.
Angel was that black angel.
Oh, was the girl?
Yeah,
with the wings.
The butterfly wings.
So she's not the other angel.
No, she's not.
Who is Archangel?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay.
how it all fits together, but I do like that they're still in the same timeline.
Yes.
Because they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to make them the same timeline.
Mm-hmm.
They could have just been 2 completely separate things. But
right.
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. I'm not especially looking forward to the Dark Phoenix movie that's about to come out. I'm interested to see where they go with it, though.
Same. That's because when I watched Age of Apocalypse, I didn't find the Jean Grey particularly interesting. That actress for her
exactly
didn't seem to be
too
good.
Sophie Turner. She's okay. Yeah, she does well enough on Game of Thrones, but she was never that interesting to me.
Yeah,
even on Game of Thrones.
Yeah, so maybe she'll. Anyway, she's young, so maybe she can really stretch her legs in the next one. And
a lot of it again is the writing. So they did Dark Phoenix kind of weird in the 3rd movie, and it didn't really work, and they reset the whole timeline. So hopefully,
well, that's the thing though. They don't have much time to do anything because now they're owned by Disney.
Right.
So who knows how that's all going to
I don't know how it's all going to work. This is the last X-Men movie apart from Disney.
As far as I know.
So, well, no, there's another one with the other girl from Game of Thrones, Maisie Williams.
Who's she playing?
I don't know. It's called New Mutants.
Okay.
And it takes place in some kind of facility or something.
Oh, okay.
It looks like it's supposed to be more of a psychological horror thing.
Huh. I haven't seen anything about that.
I saw the trailer for that. I remember thinking, that looks uninteresting. So I don't know. I
haven't seen it.
It just seems like they're kind of having their last gasping breath before Disney takes over, which I'm looking forward to. I'll really be interested to see where they...
I'm looking forward for Disney to take over all of us, all of our lives.
I wish they'd just get it over with and tell me how to live and just force feed me more X-Men and
thank you.
Captain America and just Just give it to me.
Right. See, what I liked about this movie the most is that they made the Sentinels a Mazo from DC Comics. where they could just adapt to anything.
Right.
Here's the thing. That's not Mystique's power.
No. If anything, like... Well, okay. First off...
She's like illusion magic.
Yeah. More or less. That should be Darwin's power.
Yeah, that's Darwin's power.
But they killed him off.
They killed him off.
Impossibly, they killed him off. Yeah, no, really. It should have been Darwin/Rogue because
or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that would have made more sense rather than Mystique. But Jennifer Lawrence has to be the center of attention for some reason.
Yeah. Mystique's power is not to adapt to any situation and overcome. I don't understand that at all. I guess what they were trying to say is that since she can change herself, that is the key to mutantism.
Yeah,
itself,
like she's the key to mutant exploration. I don't know.
But that doesn't make any sense.
No.
But like that's not her power. She can make it look like she had diamond skinned.
Mm-hmm.
Skin, not skinned.
Yeah.
But she couldn't actually have diamond skin. As is shown in the first X-Men movie when she turns into Wolverine and Wolverine cuts her claws off with his claws.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's awesome.
It's just basically an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a disguise. So that was a little weird, but we got to see the old model Sentinels, which were way cooler looking.
Yep. Absolutely.
They're way cooler looking.
No, I
didn't like the sleek ones.
They're more believable. They're more tactile. They're like,
yeah.
I can see that existing.
Yeah,
whereas
absolutely.
the new Sentinels, like they look really sleek and badass and stuff, but it's just too much. I felt like, and especially for that, it seems too futuristic.
Right.
Like somehow Mystique's genes like boosted scientific progress ahead a few like centuries.
I guess, yeah.
Instead of like, oh, okay, now we can do a couple decades worth of.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't make sense for those things to show up in the 90s.
Right. Yeah. So it's a little weird, but here's the thing. Going back to Amazo from DC Comics.
Please, yeah.
There is my favorite episode of the Justice League animated. I think it's just Justice League animated series, something like that, where Amazo is created by Lex Luthor, and he is showing up to fight the Justice League. And Justice League is probably they're probably stronger even than the X-Men. I don't know, it's close because Magneto's like insanely strong,
right?
And I love that they show that. In this movie.
Quick side tangent.
Thank you.
I don't know, man. The old ones are great, but they give so much attention to Magneto and Michael Fassbender in First Class, Days of Future Past, Apocalypse. Like, he gets so much screen time because they realize, like, Michael Fassbender is an amazing actor, and Magneto is one of the coolest X-Men. Not an X-Men, but the coolest mutants there is. And they respect that. They really delve into him, and every scene he's in is awesome. Really cool and really well shot, and you feel how powerful he is, and
definitely
you feel his will and his motivation and his drive to accomplish what he wants to. Right. And so the towards the end, I was thinking, man, I would love it if they just made a Magneto movie. Yeah, like just Magneto.
Well, that's what it's
as the main character. I mean,
it's so good of. Like they focus more on in the newer movies. It's less about the X-Men coming together as a team and Wolverine, which that's what the first 3 X-Men movies are about.
Right.
They're about Wolverine and his
journey.
But really, the X-Men comics before Wolverine takes over, and Wolverine is basically like his own thing, separate from the X-Men comics usually. Yeah. So, but. The X-Men comics, it is essentially an arms race of Professor X versus Magneto. And they're both just building up stronger and stronger forces together, and it's their conflict between the two of them that is the driving force. It's their disagreement. Then the really cool superpowers come secondary. They're just a means to the end, basically. And I think that the newer ones show that a lot better by giving Magneto so much screen time and giving him so much of the story. And
it makes it more even.
Yeah, you care just as much about his side as you do about
I agree with that.
Professor X's side.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Amazo.
Yes. Okay,
so the Justice League is sent to stop Amazo. And Amazo's power is to copy abilities. So, like, he copies the Flash's abilities, so he's got the Speed Force, I guess. I don't know. It's technology. I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
And he's able to steal, like, Green Lantern's power and Wonder Woman's power. Like, he's able to steal all of that from them. And they're like, he's adapting to our powers, and we can't beat him now. He has all of our powers. And Superman's like, I've got to get in there. And they're like, no, do not come, because if he can steal your powers, then he's going to beat all of us.
Yeah.
So Superman's like, nope, I can't take this anymore. I got to come. And he goes and he beats the crap out of Amazo, and he's beating him. But Amazo now has, like, Green Lantern's ring and Flash's speed and Superman's strength and everything all together. And so, of course, there's one member of the Justice League left. And that's Batman, the one with no powers. And Amazo comes to him and analyzes him and sees that he has no powers. And Batman says, well, if you have all of our strengths, then you got all of our weaknesses. And he pulls out the kryptonite. And Batman is the only one who can beat the super adapted robot.
Man, I love DC Comics for that.
Batman is
unequivocally the strongest in the entire universe.
I don't know why people complain about, like,
because he always has a plan.
Do anything. It's like, have you ever seen a Batman anything?
Man, I love Batman. Oh, so good.
He's great.
So, but that gave me a thought. Okay, Amazo.
Right.
Magic exists in the DC universe. Actual magic.
Right.
Superman is weak to magic. Not as much as he is to kryptonite, I don't think.
He's not weak.
He's not weak, but he's more susceptible to it.
Yeah, he's just doesn't have a resistance to it.
Yeah.
So he's still just as, like, strong, but he doesn't have a particular resistance to it.
Yeah, he doesn't have any kind of physical or anything resistance to magic. So magic is a little better of a weapon against him than, say, punching him in the face.
Right.
So could Amazo... Now you made me lose my train of thought. I think I was going in the direction of, can Amazo learn magic? Because he can take powers, but how does magic work?
Amazo becomes infinitely powerful.
Okay. What about, like, incantations and stuff?
I would assume so, yeah. I mean, like I said, he becomes infinitely powerful to the point where he doesn't see the point in fighting anymore. And it doesn't... So, he just becomes above everybody.
Right.
And so, he doesn't fight anymore. So, if magic or whatever, he's basically the strongest being ever that... Right. I don't know if Lex Luthor creates him or if he has someone else create him or something like that.
Yeah, I vaguely remember some of the Amazo stuff, but it's been a while.
Yeah. Amazo shows up again and has overcome his weakness to kryptonite. And they just realize they can't stop him. Right. But they're able to reason with him.
Which is another great thing about the DC universe. Gods exist.
Yeah.
And they create new gods all the time. Yeah. And, like, the weakest character from a DC universe could easily kill the strongest from the Marvel universe.
There's no limitation.
Like, it's ridiculous.
The Marvel universe is supposed to be really relatable, and the DC universe, no.
Yeah.
It's just off the walls. It's great. I love the contrast. Mm-hmm. But anyway, you remember when we were talking about a movie?
Yeah, vaguely.
Days of Future Past. Mm-hmm. Man, dude, I love every second that Hugh Jackman is on the screen. Mm-hmm. Seriously, every scene, like the first, as soon as he gets back into his old body and he's just in that room, and there's no explanation. He's just with that girl, and the three guys come in, and they're like gonna shoot him. He just kills them.
Yeah, and this is even the older, more mature Logan.
Yeah. He just doesn't have time for this.
Yeah,
like he just kills all of them.
He's like, I'm not dealing with this.
As far as I know, all those guys are dead forever.
Yeah,
like the timeline's not fixing that.
No, it's great.
Yeah,
love Hugh Jackman and Logan, and such a great character.
He's so vicious, and there are so many good gags of him forgetting that he's not metal. Like he's trying to attack the Sentinels, and he's using his bone claws, and they just do nothing.
It's not working.
And he tries to go through the metal detector, and he realizes, it didn't.
Yeah, it's kind of caught off guard.
Yeah. There's a lot of really good stuff with that. Because he'd been like Metal Wolverine. How far into the future is it supposed to be where they are in this movie?
I think he said like 50 years.
50 years from the 70s?
Like 2020.
Yeah, so like 2020.
Something like that.
Which is... X-Men 3 was released in 2006. So that's like 15 years. Let's say 15 years from X3.
Sure.
So yeah, he's had metal in his bones for a long time.
A long time.
And I do like that.
Well, they actually addressed that in Apocalypse, which we haven't watched yet. No, we have. We haven't reviewed it yet.
We actually watched it not too long ago, but not for review.
Yeah, they find him in the Striker's place.
Yes.
And he's got, the headgear on, and he's got his metal claws at that point. Which, okay, we might as well bring this up now since we're on the topic. I thought this movie was a lot of fun and great. The ending was stupid.
Yeah, the very, very ending.
very, very ending.
Yeah.
Because...
probably the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, the last 3 minutes. It's cool to see the old
cool,
cast that all died.
Weird.
It's a little weird. You know that's not actually Kelsey Grammer. For one.
And you're like, wait, hold on.
It's just a dude in blue makeup, which does look better than the old new Beast makeup. The original Beast, I like the original Beast makeup better than the newer Beast makeup.
Yes.
So anyway, yeah, it's kind of cool to see the old Scott and the old Jean Grey and stuff. It's a little weird, but it's kind of nice. It's a nice homage.
Yeah.
But the idea, the time thing we'll discuss in depth. But Stryker pulls Logan out of the river. Right. All the rebar just kind of falls away, and Stryker's like, "I'll take him," and then his eyes flash, and it's Mystique.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Why?
Why
did Mystique go back for Logan for some reason? First off. Secondly...
Does she even know Logan?
No.
No.
Like, she saw him a couple times when he was chasing her. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And this is all happening over a dialogue of... I think it's Patrick Stewart or Michael Fassbender. One of the two. No, it's the other one.
McAvoy.
Yeah, it's Macklemore. Macklemore is talking about how we can change the past and, make a better future and blah, blah, blah. Maybe everything's not written in stone. While Stryker's like, I'm actually Mystique. So it seems to imply like, oh, maybe Logan won't get metal infused to his bones and stuff. We don't know.
Yeah.
Which is a terrible ending.
Yeah, it's like, what?
Like, we might take away one of Wolverine's defining characteristics. One of the coolest things about him.
Yeah.
Like, why though? And then, of course, they don't touch that at all and retcon it completely.
Yeah, they do.
In Apocalypse, where you just see him in Stryker's facility with metal grafted to his bones. Yeah. And he's lost his mind entirely. Like, okay.
It's like, yeah, that's...
So what was the point of that terrible ending?
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand.
Why?
Yeah.
So, great movie. Really dumb, really dumb final scene.
It just dropped the ball there in the last few seconds.
They fumbled it hard.
They were they were at the 1 yard line, and then they spiked it too early.
Mm-hmm.
It was rough. I don't know, but we should start going in depth on the time thing. We should just try to piece it, not even just necessarily a criticism of it, but trying to piece together from the information we got in the movie, how in the world this actually works. So let's start off with how Shadowcat described it in the beginning of the movie.
Okay, basically, she can send consciousness send you back. I'm going to take my time with this because I'm struggling, clearly. All right, let me reset.
Okay, I'm ready. Hit me.
Ellen Page.
Right.
Actual Ellen Page.
Real life.
Can take someone's consciousness and send it back into their younger bodies.
Right.
They'd been using that to warn themselves about Sentinel attacks.
Right.
So they could avoid them. And they could move and not get tracked down. So the whole plot of the movie is Ellen Page, sends Hugh Jackman back in time 50 years to his old body in the 70s to stop Mystique from killing Trask, which will create the Sentinel program.
Okay, sidebar. When did Shadowcat get this ability? Is that something is that something she can do?
I don't know.
I didn't know that. I don't know. She could go through walls.
Yeah.
Like Martian
All
Man.
I remember, they never touched it in the old movies, I don't think. All I remember from the old movies with her is running from Juggernaut and Juggernaut saying, "I'm the Juggernaut!"
Yeah.
And it's fantastic.
Yeah, that's...
It's great. That's the third movie, but it's still great.
Yeah. Even though they ruined Juggernaut.
Yeah, even though they ruined Juggernaut, but that's beside the point.
That's beside the point. Yeah, so I don't remember her... Okay, so she's got this weird power where she can send him into the past.
Just his consciousness.
Just his consciousness into his past body.
Yes.
So presumably he would have all the memories of all the times he's done that before. Right?
Yes.
The bishop would. Like he would,
yes.
He would still have. Yes. He would be still one. It'd be one mind. So when he goes into his body, he would remember all the times before, and so he would have that memory.
Correct.
The way it looks, though, when she does it, she does the thing to Bishop, and then instantly they're all back in time, right?
Right.
So
that's because it wipes out that timeline.
Right.
So
what wipes out
it seems to imply that this is not the multiverse theory, or the what is the time one?
It seems to imply it's using the Back to the Future 1 logic, where things get erased from time.
Exactly. So there's just one timeline.
There's a singular timeline.
But it can be altered and cut off and started anew.
Right.
That's the implication.
Okay, but just her... It implies that just her sending Bishop back in time erases that timeline completely.
Yes.
So
what's the issue?
She sends Wolverine back in time, and she has to hold him there for some reason.
For the plot of the movie.
But it doesn't...
it doesn't make sense.
It should, as soon as she sends him back...
It should be instantaneous, yes.
It should be instantaneous. There should be no struggle. Because they showed us that. That's not something that I made up. That's something the directors showed us. So I don't understand why she has to hold on to his mind. And that's what makes it extra confusing at the end of the movie when Wolverine goes to the year 2020 in the new future that he created, has the memories of all the stuff he did in 1973, does not have any of the memories of him from 1973 to 2020.
Yes.
But also assuming in there that he did lose his mind in there. So, I don't know.
So
it's so confusing.
Right.
For no reason.
The biggest issues with the time travel are they should have disappeared instantaneously, but for the plot of the movie, and so there's a little more tension, they decide to leave them there so we can see them fight. That's the whole reason they did that. There's no reason in universe that should have worked that way.
Right.
but it did. So Professor X could talk to himself and a few other reasons, but just tension for the plot is really. And the second issue, which Evan just brought up, is, okay, sure, Wolverine can remember all those 50 years that got erased because his consciousness was sent back. Why doesn't he remember those, what did you say, 30 some odd other years at all?
He doesn't remember.
Yes,
there's no Wolverine that exists that remembers 1973 to whenever he did the Stryker thing, or anything from then until the present in 2020.
Yeah, for some reason.
There's no Wolverine that remembers.
Yeah, he just wakes up in like 2006 for some reason. Without those 30 years.
No, it's 2020.
Yeah, you're right, because he has the gray hair and everything.
Yeah, he's got the gray hair and it's got the... It shows us
so it's
because...
50 years he lost then.
Yeah. Well, yeah, which is... It's fine that he lost the time from 73 to whenever he had his experiments, but he should remember from like 2001 to
because he's been part of the X-Men for those however many years. He's been teaching at the school. He's gone on missions with these people.
So why? But that not Wolverine, I guess.
But
there's only one Wolverine because there's only one timeline.
There's only one timeline, so he would have been in that mind, that body, since the 70s.
Right. So he should have. There shouldn't have been a time skip. He should have not come back into consciousness at that same time, only on a different timeline. Because that's not what Bishop does. Mm-hmm. Bishop goes back in time, and then he's just in that new body till he goes back in time again.
Yes.
He's not in that new body till... I don't know.
Yeah. Basically, it doesn't make any sense.
I'm so confused.
Wolverine should remember everything but, when he loses his mind with Stryker.
Yeah.
He should remember both the erased timeline and the one he's currently in at the end of the movie.
Yeah, it would have made perfect sense if they would have just done it. Mm-hmm.
Instead, he just remembers the erased timeline.
Yeah. He should not remember the erased timeline.
Yeah,
because it should all get erased from his memory when he goes to the whole Weapon X thing.
I would have accepted that.
That's what it should have been.
Yeah, that would have been a reasonable way of getting rid of the erased timeline.
Or like Professor X could have eventually unlocked it or something.
Right.
Like, oh, what? All of this happened? What? No one told us, Wolverine. Mm-hmm. All this happened? Except he would remember. Professor X would remember that he came back in time. Mm-hmm. I guess. Or something. Yeah, he would remember that. He would at least remember that Wolverine came back in time.
Yeah, why does Professor X know?
He should.
You did it.
He should know, because that's him from the 70s.
Yeah, that's true.
So
he talked to himself in the future.
Yeah.
So it all worked.
Yeah, he should know. So he should know, Magneto should know, Beast should know that Wolverine came from the future.
Yes.
And that's fine. Mm-hmm. All those should know, but it shouldn't really affect much. But
yeah, and he shouldn't know that he's lost the memories from the last 50 years. Anyway, it doesn't make sense. It's dumb, poorly written. Yeah, let's move on.
They could have fixed it so easily, though.
Yes.
All right. What do we want to move on to, though?
Quicksilver's awesome.
Quicksilver's incredible. Man.
We talked about it in first class. We'll talk about it again.
No,
the scenes.
We didn't talk about it in first class, but
we
did we?
Oh, and Quicksilver's not in first class. You're right. I'm thinking of Apocalypse.
So.
All right, this is the first time we're going to talk about Quicksilver, the good Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Man, he's just so good.
He's incredible. I don't know that actor's name, but
no idea. I don't know if I've seen him in anything else.
Yeah, he plays him really well, and the way they shoot everything, all those scenes, it still looks incredible.
Yeah, he's kind of like a fish out of water kleptomaniac.
Yeah.
Like really very charismatic in his own kind of weird way, and
yeah, it's great. They set him up to where he could easily you could easily see him as evil. Mm-hmm. Joining the side of evil, but he's just chaotic.
Yeah, he's just a kid right now.
Whatever. Like you said, he's a kleptomaniac, and all they need to persuade him to go on the mission is that he gets to break into the Pentagon.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah, cool.
Cool. Yeah. And he's just
and
insanely powerful.
When he's in that room with all the guards and he doesn't freeze time, but he's moving so fast the time is frozen basically, and like Time in a Bottle starts playing, and he's like just poking people, and the force behind those single pokes are making their skin ripple and pushing them back, and he's moving the bullets and stuff. It's incredible scene. Beautiful.
What I really, really love about that scene is something they didn't need to add, but they did, and it just adds so much to it, is the 1 second reaction of Magneto lifting all the metal things in the room.
Yeah.
That gets me. Like, it's just like, he had this split reaction, he was just going to kill all of them with the knives.
Yeah,
like,
it's going to be awesome.
It just, if it would have played out how without Quicksilver, everyone in the room, besides Wolverine, would have been dead.
Everyone. Yeah, because they shot plastic bullets. So everyone would have died.
Everyone would have died.
And
all
Quicksilver.
At once. Well, yeah.
If he wasn't there.
If he wasn't there, yeah. Everyone but Wolverine would have died instantly. Yeah, I love that. That Magneto was just like, okay, we gotta do this. We gotta kill all of them. It's
so everything's floating in the air as he's running through.
And then they already set it up with the sprinkler system, so they're able to use the water in that way. It's like, they set that up so well.
Yeah, no,
that's an amazing scene.
Fantastic.
Although I don't understand something that I was a little confused by, how Beast was able to hack into the water system with the
little remote control.
The remote control.
I was kind of willing to accept
it's 1973. Did they remember that?
Yeah, I was kind of willing to accept
fire
the fact
systems?
that
you pull an alarm and water is released. It's all mechanical.
Exactly. No. I can accept that he intercepted the broadcast.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, somewhat. At least it's believable.
But the sprinkler system is a little of a reach.
I'm pretty sure that wasn't electronic in that. Yeah. It might have been, but I don't think
that's a little nitpicky.
Maybe. Yeah. I just thought it was a little silly.
But yeah, that's a little silly.
Yeah, with a little remote. Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, that scene is amazing. I love how he does all this stuff and messing with people when he's running around, and then as an afterthought, he's like, "Oh man, I need to get these bullets out of the way."
Oh, I can't forget this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got some time. I'll just do that.
Yeah, and there's a really quick scene towards the end where he's watching Magneto on TV, and he's got Scarlet Witch in his lap. You know, and he's just watching it with his sister and mom. Yeah. I think that's really cool.
I like that. I like they just decided not to use him again because he's too strong, basically. Because he can do whatever he wants.
No, he shows up in Apocalypse.
Yeah, he does in Apocalypse. I'm saying in this movie.
Well, right, because they don't need him anymore. It's like, we needed him to break out, and it's like, all right, cool. You're just a kid. You're not involved in this. Get out of here.
Yeah. So it's just... But, yeah, when you've got someone who can do something that...
Plus, it's really cool because Wolverine experienced 50 years, and in those 50 years, he interacted with all the X-Men and with the League of Evil. What are they called?
The Brotherhood.
The Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. And so he knows Peter. He knows the Maximoffs. And so, he's trying to think, who can we get to help us break Magneto out? It's like, oh, I know a guy.
Yeah.
He's going to be a little young, but we can get Peter Maximoff. We can get Quicksilver.
Yeah, he should be able to do this.
Logan just knows all these people. So it's really cool to just think, yeah, of course he would know Quicksilver. And he can just reach into the back of his mind and look up these people. So it really builds the world even better. And they don't force it down your throat. He just knows them.
One of the things that I really liked as I was watching was showing the contrast between future Magneto and past Magneto with just the little bit of the symbolism of where his allegiance is, where his trust lies. Of in the past, he's wearing the helmet. He doesn't trust Professor X. And then in the future, Magneto, he is not wearing his helmet at all. It's part of me is man, I really want to see him in the helmet, but it's but it also really makes sense if he only wears the helmet if he doesn't trust Professor X anymore. they don't really explain how Magneto, Professor X, Storm, Wolverine, they're just surviving.
Yeah.
For a while.
No.
I guess it's just because they're really, really powerful.
Yeah,
but it's
they have a super jet.
Yeah.
Like they're the X-Men, so I don't know.
Yeah, I guess they just are able to survive.
What I would have liked to have seen, Ian McKellen's Magneto, he had his followers. He had the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. I would have liked to see a few of them thrown in.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
The future as well. So, both sides are working together. They're not enemies anymore. Instead, you really just had Magneto.
It's just Magneto, yeah. But yeah, you just assume everyone else is dead. That Magneto's probably exhausted all of his resources at that point. But yeah, that would have been cool. But I don't know who else they would have been able to bring without, dipping in. I don't know.
Okay, never mind. I was about to go into
I guess Quicksilver's died by then, huh?
Which doesn't make any sense.
That's because he dies in Age of Ultron.
Yeah, that's it. Which is exactly what I was about to do. I was about to go into a tirade wait a minute. The Marvel Universe wouldn't have fallen apart like that just because of mutants. The Avengers would have stepped in and stopped everybody from doing all this crazy shit, and Thor would have shown up and stopped literally everyone because Thor was like, wait, okay, no, the Avengers don't exist in this universe. The rest of it's just mutants in this one. Okay, never mind.
That's what I was thinking. I don't know. I can't really think of any times or it's not like I often read comics, but I read about comics and listen to videos about comics and things of how do the Avengers and things deal with Magneto, because he's insanely powerful and so are the X-Men.
Right.
It's almost like they're separate from each other, really. They're in separate universes almost.
Yes, I've always kind of felt that way too. While the Avengers and the whole Marvel universe exists, I've always felt like the X-Men was a little separate. Yeah. And while they all interact with each other very often, it always felt like X-Men, rest of the Marvel universe.
Yeah, if Wolverine didn't exist, they probably wouldn't cross over hardly ever. It's just Wolverine is able to tie both of them together because people want to see Wolverine in more stuff.
Right.
All the time. But yeah, I was thinking about that. If Magneto came up against the Avengers that we have now, who could stop him? Iron Man couldn't.
Iron Man would be destroyed.
He'd just be
immediately.
dismantled. His suit would just be gone.
Well, no one, because we live in a metal world and they haven't prepared for Magneto in any way. So and they often like to fight in cities. Right. The Avengers do.
I just
So just drop Magneto in there. I don't know.
I mean, that
probably
would be really fun. Yeah, I see. That's what you say, probably, but I think back and I'm why don't I know? Why don't I know if Magneto's fought the Hulk at some point?
Well, everyone's fought everyone else in the
why don't
comics.
I know if Thor has fought Magneto and how Mjolnir works with Magneto's powers? I don't know any of that. Yeah, maybe they just don't cross over much.
Right.
It's just, but it seems like he would just dismantle all of them, except for Black Widow, obviously, who would,
They don't cross over a ton, but they do cross over.
She would do some sort of kick. He'd be dead.
They addressed the Phoenix Force in one of the latest issues, one of the more recent issues of Thanos comics. Because the Phoenix Force is a cosmic power akin to, the Infinity Gems. And, it's one of those levels of power, and, Jean Grey had it for however long.
Right.
So, there are clear references to each other at the very least, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So, elephant in the room. No Stan Lee cameo.
There's no Stan Lee cameo.
Which is weird because he is in some. Mm-hmm. But he's not in this one. At least not that I saw.
No, I didn't see him.
Unless Mystique was...
She was not Stan Lee at any point, no.
You don't know.
I mean, off screen, maybe, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't know. Maybe she would have been.
Unfortunately, that means it's going to put it down there with Blade.
With Blade, yeah. It's all the way down with Blade where he's in blackface.
Yeah.
That is a shame.
That's unfortunate.
True shame. So no Stan Lee cameo.
No Stan Lee cameo.
Here's a question for you.
All right.
You want me to ask the question?
All right.
I got a question ready for you.
All right. Go ahead.
Is it racist?
Bishop dies.
Bishop does.
Bishop
die.
explodes.
Bishop explodes. Halle Berry
Halle Berry gets stabbed.
But think of this. Okay. What is...
But they're all alive at the end.
What is the human population? What percentage of that is black people? Do you know off the top of your head?
I have no idea.
Let's say it's... I was gonna say 2/3. I don't think that's accurate.
No, it's more like 3/5.
Let's say 1 in 10, right?
Okay.
I think we got an overrepresentation of black people in this movie then, with Halle Berry, and at the end, with the
only
in the
because
future.
you have to consider all right, we'll stick with that.
Okay.
1 in 10 are
one of them's Native American.
1 in 10 are black or Native American, generally considered a minority.
Okay.
And then you have to go to the mutants. How many of those are mutants?
Yeah. A lot of black mutants survived in that apocalyptic future. That's what I'm saying. I feel like there's an overrepresentation of them, and also an overrepresentation of Russian people because Colossus is
there.
Yeah. So, I'm just saying that I don't think the movie's racist.
And one of the main characters is Mystique, who's blue.
Yeah, she is blue. So is Beast. There's
the and you have to consider the mutants are their own race. Basically. Like, they're a whole different species.
Yeah. And X-Men is supposed to be an allegory for, racism.
And homosexuality.
Yeah, but it started out in the 70s.
It started in the 70s. It was
the racism. And they changed it
now,
as it goes
now
along.
it's more recently, Bryan Singer especially has been more about homosexuality and his issues with God for some reason. But yes, in the 70s it was about segregation and racism. So yes, you have a point there.
So I'm just saying.
So the foundations of X-Men.
But is this movie racist?
I think
right
that Trask is racist, and the majority of Homo sapiens, it would seem,
right,
and Stryker, they're all racist, but the main characters are not racist.
I think that it doesn't make any sense that a headline would say, "Mutant saves president," when it should say, "Mutant carried stadium," whole stadium. Guys, listen, whole stadium carried, surrounded White House, threatened to kill president with his super mega powers. Mutants bad. Watch out, mutants. They are nukes. They're going to kill us. All that should have been the title on the newspaper. It shouldn't have been Mutant Saves Day. Mm-hmm. It should have been We Barely Escaped with Our Lives.
Right.
.richardnixon.com.
.exe.
No, that is not how the headline would go.
You're right. They're very forgiving. So, you're right. Richard Nixon wasn't so bad.
Yeah, that's what we're asking, right? Is this movie shining a good light on Richard Nixon? Was Richard Nixon a good president?
Is Richard Nixon redeemed through Days of Future Past? And I think yes.
I think the answer is yes.
I think yes. So
I also think the guy playing Richard Nixon is doing a great job.
Bang up job.
That is amazing.
That's a really good Nixon.
I assume that they just found that guy on the street.
Yeah. Are you Richard Nixon?
Are you Richard J. Nixon?
Yeah, which goes to show Richard Nixon is actually a mutant.
Yeah.
And that's why, they found him to play his role of Richard Nixon in this movie.
I didn't want to bring it up.
Okay.
But I really feel like there are 4 particular mutants.
I was just about to go there. Because I was about to say, I think we might have talked about this in first class. But you know who else are mutants? The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They are also mutants.
They're also mutants. And
they're
not
in
New York.
They're not the same kind of mutants. Because they're not the Homo genus.
They're not,
They're not homos.
Yeah. Well, that's true. They're different, and their mutation is caused.
Mm-hmm. It's not genetic.
From the ooze.
Yes.
The secret of the ooze.
The secret of the ooze.
Yeah,
TMNT2.
That's the thing. If the turtles, there is one girl turtle, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, but she's their sister. So
yeah, Venus de Milo or whatever.
Yeah, for some reason.
It's terrible.
That's not a name of an artist.
Yeah, exactly. It's the name of a painting by a male artist from the Renaissance. So it's horribly sexist.
It's hilarious, is what it is.
Anyway, here's my question.
No.
I have a quick one. All right. Would a sentinel attack a TMNT?
Yes.
Why?
Because for some reason the Sentinel stopped attacking Beast when he put the thing in his arm,
But they track the mutant gene. He says that specifically. Mutant turtles are going to have completely different
genes. Did they learn that later to do that? Is that something they do later?
What do you mean?
Like, do they later track the mutant gene? Because
yes.
he puts the thing in his arm, and they say he's not a mutant anymore.
Well, yes, they track the mutant gene far into the future. They even say, like, all right, we track the genes of people who are going to have kids who are mutants.
So why didn't it see that Beast was a mutant?
I don't know.
Why wasn't that the solution to the problem? Beast has a vial of, hey, these things don't think we're mutants anymore.
Right.
He has one of those.
Yeah,
that never comes up except for that one moment.
They have a solution, really.
Yeah, they do. I guess.
But that goes to the plot of X3 where they have a cure and is whatever. But again, back to TMNT, the important part.
The question I was going to ask is that do you think that if the turtles had a child, that would it be a normal turtle or would it be a mutant turtle?
It would be mutated.
You think so?
Absolutely.
You don't think that
I don't know how it would be mutated. I think it would be a horrible abomination that would die quickly after birth.
Okay. But you think it would be a mutant? Do you think that eventually, over time, though, they could create a race to where it would be similar to the homos, where they can, it's latent.
Potentially.
Dormant.
Potentially. Okay. Because the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, their entire gene structure was rewritten by the ooze. They mutated and evolved.
Okay.
So they're completely different creatures from regular turtles.
Yeah, I guess so. So they're probably sterile, though.
Most likely.
But
I would say, could you clone them? Could you take their DNA samples and make more turtles? Which has probably been addressed. I don't know.
Potentially. I think you could.
So I think that it is possible to have a race of giant bipedal turtles.
All right. Okay. So that brings me to my next question. A segment I wanted to bring back. I don't think we've done it.
I want to keep talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, though.
I'm not done talking about Teenage. What made you think that I was done talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
I knew where you were going, but all right, go ahead.
Who would win in a fight, the Punisher or the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
So 1v4?
Yeah.
The Punisher. Easily.
Okay. How much prep time
do the
turtles get? How much splinter wisdom do the turtles get?
Rendition of the turtles? Like the original really dark, gritty version of the turtles where they actually like kill people and stuff? You pick and choose
4 from any of the ones you want. It could be different timelines of turtles.
Alright, well obviously I want the live action ones from the 80s and 90s because those are the best.
The ones that don't use weapons.
Yeah, they don't use their weapons.
Sausage. Who would win? The Punisher with guns or the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with sausage?
They'd throw... I don't know. That's hard. I feel like they'd probably throw the Punisher into...
They're bulletproof.
Yeah. Not all over, though.
Well, they can suck in. I mean, they get shot at.
Right. I feel like they'd throw the Punisher into a dumpster truck like they did with Shredder.
Oh, yeah. I think
But the Punisher would also survive.
He would survive, yeah. Okay, who would win then? Let's take that to the next logical step.
Okay.
Put the Punisher on the ooze power from the second movie. Who wins the fight now?
Punisher.
Okay. They drop a building on him.
He'd still come back.
Okay.
Punisher has more plot armor than Shredder somehow. Like he would like, you know how Shredder's hand pokes out of the rubble and is like, oh, I'm dead. No, Punisher would bust through
Right.
and then choke them all to death.
Right. Okay. If you
With
remember,
his thighs.
If you remember the last episode, we talked about Doctor Doom being Donatello.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now who would kill the turtles the fastest, Doctor Doom or the Punisher?
Well, if Doctor Doom is Donatello, then he would dismantle them from the inside. So Doctor Doom.
He would. Okay, yeah, this is a separate thing. If they were two separate things.
Okay, if they were two separate things, who would kill them faster while on the ooze?
Yeah. Wait, Doctor Doom is on the ooze now?
I thought that's what you were implying.
That wasn't.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking normal Doctor Doom versus Punisher on the ooze.
We're pitting Doctor Doom against Punisher.
No, who would kill the turtles
Okay, the
faster?
turtles. I still think Punisher would kill them faster. Doctor Doom would have more of a thought-out plan, and he would set it into motion, and it would eventually kill them flawlessly. But the Punisher would just run in and murder them.
See, it was a trick question. Doctor Doom wouldn't kill them. He would use them for his own gain. And he would clone them to make more.
And then he'd populate Latveria completely with turtle people.
And then the Sentinels would come and...
No! They won't attack turtle people. We've been over this.
No, I specifically dodged that question. And started talking about my own thing. So I think that yes, the Sentinels would.
I disagree.
Find that.
They're specifically after the mutant gene in Homo sapiens / Homo superior.
I think they're just after the mutant gene. I think the mutant gene is
But it's
ubiquitous.
a different mutant gene.
No, I think it's the same. It's mutating. It gives them powers. If they could predict the grandparents would have a child eventually, they're gonna kill the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
All right, dear listeners, leave a comment, leave a like and a subscribe. I don't know, people just say that on YouTube, but more importantly, leave a comment saying which of us you agree with more. Do you agree with me?
Do you agree with both of us on some level?
Yes, of course. We're both very charismatic and convincing. But who has the upper hand? Do you think, A, I get to be A, because I'm bringing it up, that the Sentinels would not attack the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because it's a different kind of mutation, or B,
that Doctor Doom would lose to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
and that the Sentinels would attack Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
No, I never said that.
Yeah,
Don't put that in that option.
that's what he's brought up. No. Or option C, then. Please discuss.
Yes. Yeah. Who would win?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Great. So
Okay.
we got that covered.
So the movie's not racist.
Movie's not
Richard
racist.
Nixon's a great actor.
Yes. Richard Nixon is a great turtle.
And was a good president.
He did nothing wrong.
All right. Who do we have to recast?
There are too many.
There's too many.
There's too many.
Have we casted Hugh Jackman?
No.
All right.
Except maybe when we said that Hugh Jackman was gonna be in the next Avengers, and we said that Shredder was going to play.
That's true.
some
All right,
point.
that's done then.
That's
We've already
fine.
covered him.
That's fine. I think that's basically all we need. There are too many like Professor X's to recast.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on in this movie. There are too many characters to recast.
All right. Is there an X-Men or mutant or superhero we would have liked to see in this? And how would their showing up have affected the movie?
Okay, so think about it.
I'm thinking about it.
You said that the Sentinels go after mutated genes, right? So
Specifically the Homo superior mutated gene, though.
Right.
That's my argument.
Yeah, but eventually they get so advanced, I think that they would be able to... I don't know. Here's the thing, though. That means that aliens are not affected by it, right?
My argument is that the turtles and aliens have completely different DNA structures than human beings do, than Homo superior.
But they're humanoid, so
they're humanoid. They look like them, but
they have to be very similar.
They're completely different beings and creatures. They're completely different species than even the Homo superior.
What I'm saying is that the Sentinels should be able to detect the threat.
They would detect a difference.
Yeah, I feel like they would just kill anything that was different.
But they're specifically programmed to attack the mutant gene in Homo superior.
Yeah.
So they would detect it, but I feel like they would gloss over it.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
So, aliens then.
The point is, I'm saying that in a world where this is the case, that means that only aliens exist on the Earth, right? The Sentinels would stop after they kill all the mutants and all the humans, right?
Okay, sure.
Aliens and, I guess, in Moscow there were only humans and no animals. And it was all destroyed, or whatever. Something. I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
The thing is, they showed Moscow like it's not already like a desolate land. Whatever. Here's the thing.
Okay.
I think that means that the world is populated by Alfs. Just plenty. Well, I don't know if there are more than one Alf. I don't know. Actually, I don't know if he comes from a race.
Like the Jim Henson puppets that live underground.
Yeah.
Those elves.
Yeah, Alf.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, can you imagine?
I think Alf is just one of them.
I'm saying that I want to see a movie that delves into Alf as the last living creature.
Okay, but hear me out.
But he eats pure cats.
Only the purest cats. No,
He's racist.
No race mixing. All right, hear me out. I'm cool with that. Alfs exist.
Yeah, right. Obviously.
On a deeper layer, underneath the crust, beneath the Alfs even, are Morlocks.
Okay.
From that
from
book.
A Wrinkle in Time.
Time Machine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. By H.G. Wells, I think. Yeah. Morlocks.
Okay.
And that's it. I don't have a bit to go with it. I just thought it'd be kind of goofy.
See, there's also some man who is very super. And he's an alien.
He is.
Yes. We both know it. We both say it at the same time. The one who'd survive is Bat.
Is Gorilla.
Who would win the fight? Gorilla Grodd or the Flash? Wait.
I was trying to remember another name of a character from Krypton, and I could not remember Zod for the life of me.
Oh, yeah.
So I wanted to say Zod while you were saying something else.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it didn't go. It didn't go well.
It didn't
Here's
go.
The thing. So, what you're trying to say to me is that Alf is from Krypton, and he probably has all the powers of Superman.
Right.
At this point.
Yes.
And that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles would still exist.
Yes.
That's your argument.
Yes.
So where does that leave us as a society? Like, how do we move forward?
Well, we've journeyed to the center of the Earth now.
Right.
Because the Earth is hollow.
Why? Why did we go to the center of the Earth? Why couldn't you just live in cities? Sentinels aren't attacking cities, are they?
They seem to imply that the world is completely torn apart, leaving only the worst kind of people, I guess, which is kind of dumb.
Yeah.
And, the entirety of civilization is completely destroyed. I don't think they would have let it go that far, no matter who they are.
Yeah.
It's a complete desolate wasteland everywhere. That's kind of silly. But I'm saying the good people that were left journeyed to the center of the Earth to hang out with the dinosaurs.
Wait, yeah, why would there be any people left? Because the whole point was, it can destroy genes of, to get rid of the whole mutant gene, you'd have to get rid of all of humanity. So why would any humans be left?
That's a good point. I think they can only detect it in the
So
very next generation to come.
No, they could detect it 2 down. Because they said grandchildren.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Then I guess only the purest people can live.
And why are those the worst people? Wasn't Magneto saying that? It was probably Magneto saying that. Yeah, that makes sense. That's probably him. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is they journey to the center of the Earth.
Borat.
They journey to the center of the Earth with The Rock and Borat.
Why is The Rock there?
Because he's in Journey to the Center of the Earth.
He's not.
Yes, he is. He's in the second one.
Oh, there's the second one?
Yes, there's a second one.
Is Brendan Fraser in that
I'm pretty
one?
sure Brendan Fraser's in the first one. He's not in the second one.
He's not in the second
The
one.
Rock is definitely in one of the Journey to the Center of the Earths.
Wait, so did they replace Brendan Fraser with The Rock?
They did. I'm pretty sure. I've never seen either of those movies.
I've seen the first one. Seth Meyers is in it, but for
Really?
5 seconds. Yeah. Yeah. It's Brendan Fraser, probably that one kid from 2.5 Men. I
Yeah,
don't know if
I
that's
don't know.
true.
Sure.
I don't know if that's
He's
true.
really popular.
I don't know if that's true, but
He didn't get blacklisted after he left 2.5 Men.
it could have been him. I don't know. And some girl.
Yeah, isn't it like Karen Gillian, like the redhead?
Probably.
I know she's in the one with the Rock, and she plays the blue chick from the Avengers.
Mystique.
Yes.
The blue chick
Captain
from the
Phasma.
Oh, Nebula.
Yeah, that one.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, you saying from the Avengers really didn't help me there.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, gotcha. I understand. I'm on the same page as you now. Okay. I'm just saying, though, why is the Beast makeup so bad?
Yeah, it's so bad.
When, like, Hulk exists, and it's really good. Why didn't they go that route and have just really good CGI?
Mm-hmm. Instead, they had really bad practical effects.
Really bad. It reminds me, I think I said this in the first class one, but he looks like in Jumanji when the little kid turns into a monkey. In that movie. He looks exactly like it. It's like that movie came out in 1651 or whatever, back when Robin Williams was still alive, and it doesn't look any better. It looks like Planet of the Apes.
No. Yeah, it looks...
Only worse. It looks worse than that.
I was thinking he looks like Lon Chaney's Wolfman from, like, the 50s. Like Lon Chaney?
I know Dick Cheney.
Yeah, Richard Nixon.
Uh-huh.
Lon Chaney is one of the old actor.
Okay.
Basically, the Wolfman.
Okay.
I think it's Lon Chaney.
I don't know.
I don't see it. Anyway, yeah, Wolfman from like the 40s.
Okay, yeah, it doesn't look any better.
Yeah, it doesn't look any better than that. I would argue that the Wolfman from the 1940s looked better than this.
Probably, yeah, especially because of like the environment. It's just like, but yeah, it's that, and then it's the horrible like leaping, like, noises.
It's gross. Like, it's pretty gross.
I don't get it. It's bad. I don't know who allowed that to go through. That's probably one of the few bad things about this movie. It's actually a really, really good movie.
I would rather see Kelsey Grammer pretending to be a young man.
Oh man, I love Kelsey Grammer. He's the best. Well, that brings us to that time of the year where we gotta rate X-Men Days of Future Past. Right. Unless there's anything else you want to touch on. Unless you want to force the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles into this anymore. Until this bit dies.
We were both bringing it up. Yeah, okay, I didn't force anything.
No, I brought it up first. Come on, man. Pay attention. All right. Ah, man. I should have been thinking about a number. I would say, I mean, it's really high up there. It's something that I really, really enjoyed. You got your own paper.
Oh, I got it.
I made a.
Did you prep this?
I did. I actually prepped, and I gave us our own separate.
I'm gonna miss doing the either side because it's fun to flip it.
Yeah, it is fun to flip it, but now we're doing a new thing, I guess.
All right, I don't think
for you.
I'll try it, but I don't know if it's got the same charm and appeal. Yeah. Right. I'm happy with
secretly slide it across the table.
Okay, I'm happy with this score I've made. All right, 2, 1.
You put it at 87. Is that what that is?
87.
Okay, I put it at 89. So we're very close. Yeah. That's right where I think almost. I mean, it's reaching greatness. I think they did improve on the whole Jennifer Lawrence situation. Yeah. Because half the time she's not speaking, and the other half the time she's a different actor.
Yeah, she was
just really great.
Which is great.
It's like
she was a lot less. She was still for some reason like one of the main points of focus, but she was a lot less important in this one.
Mystique is just boring, and I didn't want to dwell on that in the review, but because
Mystique
is not fun.
We already ragged on her quite a bit in first class, and we don't need to revisit that. But
it's just yeah.
So the fact that she was downplayed. She was
downplayed, and that's fine. Really, really love Hugh Jackman up here. I think there are some. I don't know. There's something about it that doesn't quite put it up to the level.
Right. And another thought. I kind of like that there wasn't really a main villain, like Trask, kind of, but it was more about the character, the good guys, and figuring out how to, reforge the past and get rid of the Sentinels and be able to continue on. The Sentinels were the bad guys.
Definitely, yeah.
So there wasn't a main villain to be like, how was the main villain? Good or bad?
Yeah, which we didn't even touch on Trask and, what's his name?
Stryker?
No, the
Richard
actor.
Nixon.
The actor. What's his name? Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
Which, he was fine. He didn't do spectacular. There was not much.
There's not much you can do with that character. He's just a guy.
Not room to act in.
He's just a guy that kind of hates mutants.
It could have been anyone.
Yeah. I mean, Peter Dinklage is always fun to see.
Yeah.
I think he's great. But
it's kind of a waste of him.
It's kind of a waste. I don't think he had a lot of room to stretch. I don't think we really touched him much in Age of Ultron. I felt the same way in that role. About that role.
Infinity War?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Infinity War. I feel like he was also...
It could have been anyone.
It was just kind of a throw-in cameo. He's Peter Dinklage. He's really popular. I feel, he can do so much.
Yeah.
And he was just kind of wasted again.
Yeah, he's just there. Yeah, it's not... Yeah, so you don't really care about him. Stryker's just annoying to look at.
Yeah, he's got a dumb face.
Yeah, I don't... Yeah, which is fine, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not very compelling.
Yeah.
At all.
He's just kind of thrown in to be like, Wolverine's gonna happen.
Yeah, he's just another one that's there. Or is he?
Whoa!
Because of the last few seconds, for some reason.
Yeah.
But I don't know, something about it just doesn't quite hit the same mark as, like, the Avengers.
It's not up there with the Avengers or Guardian of the Galaxy.
Really
it's really good.
It's just, it's, like, the action scenes and everything they do with Magneto is amazing. If they took any of the other characters and put their power to the level, like with Magneto, because just constantly, every second they can, they're having Magneto use his powers.
Yeah.
Which is what I really love. When they're playing chess, he does not move it with his hand. He's going to move it with his mind. He does everything with his magnet powers.
Oh, yeah, he's proud of what he is, and he wants to, he's given his life fully to being a mutant.
Right. I think that they did not do Professor X well enough in that way. Mm-hmm. They did not have him just, like, stop everybody.
Right.
See, what I wanted to see was when Mystique is, about to pull the trigger on the group of people, he should have frozen everyone else besides Mystique.
Right.
In their mind, because he's talking about, he doesn't want to control her. He should have used his vast power and shown it in that way of just, like, how much he actually has. Mm-hmm. I think that would have been good. But, like,
I can see that, but at the same time, if he hadn't have acted against Mystique, she might have pulled the trigger, like, right away. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It should have been more like one of the first scenes in, what is it, 1 or 2, where Patrick Stewart just kind of wheels out in front of all these police and everyone stops.
Yes. Yeah. It should be like that. Yeah. It should show how strong he is, because they show how strong Magneto is in the movie, so they should also show how strong he is.
Yeah.
I think if they would have fleshed out his characters a little more in that way, showing his strength, and that it would have boosted the movie up just a little bit more. But the way they handle Magneto is super duper good.
Yeah. Love Magneto. Love Michael Fassbender. It's charming in a way that his Scottish accent breaks through all the time, especially when he's getting, like, worked up. It's fun. I like it.
Yeah, he does the rage really well. Something that Ian McKellen doesn't really ever touch on, which is fine because he's a more docile, kind of Magneto. But yeah, I think that Fassbender really taps into that.
Yeah.
To that part of Magneto. So very, very, very good movie. You should go watch it right now. And
leave a comment if you think I'm right.
If you think that I'm right. This is Evan, by the way. Pick, choose, B. Wait, that's not...